One of the coolest things that I have seen is Oracle's Innovation Lab. We're always telling our clients, hey, if you ever want to go to the lab, we can go. It doesn't cost you anything to come. It seems underutilized by the industry. I really like what Oracle was doing where you kind of tried to go on the road with it. We did a partnership where we did the mobile innovation lab in Columbus. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what that innovation lab is and what people can get from coming to it?
Yeah, I think back when it was initially formed, it was in Deerfield. We owned that land, that property, which gave us a perfect opportunity to do something like an innovation lab. And at that time, it was really an outdoor venue. We did have a job trailer, but then we kind of had some steel girders up, and it allowed us really to take some of these construction technologies that exist out there, see how it works in the real world, how it can integrate with Oracle technologies. And then our clients can come and instead of nobody has the time to really go out and test a bunch of technology. And so now they can come to a place and see these technologies working together. I remember initially, we were looking at VR technology, and VR, man, it makes a ton of sense. But when you're really on a job site, and this is at the time, it didn't work outside real well. So you just think about the applicability of it. Great inside a room doing a demo, not great when you're on a construction site. And it's great to see our clients just be able to experience it in their world. Huge amount of value there. They don't have the time to do it themselves or the facilities to do it. We got enough success out of that we went to Larry Ellison and just said, how can we go build something bigger and indoors? Because think Chicago, wintertime, It was difficult to get anybody to come out for that. We built this massive facility in Deerfield, just outside of Chicago. And it has been hopefully some people that are hearing this have had the opportunity to be out to the lab. But it's allowed us to put, obviously, this capability indoors. But we have attracted now over 40 technology partners, some in robotics, some in software, other capabilities that now clients can come in and they can really see how these technologies work in the real world, as well as how those integrate with our solutions and other technologies too. That has been fantastic and allows us really to see these other technologies out there and determine which ones we want to partner with as Oracle. And as I said, we've chosen 40 at this point. That continues to grow, morph, and shift. But definitely our customers have appreciated it. I think we've gotten to a point where it's not easy for all of our customers to fly into a location to be able to see the lab. So we've taken these experiences and we have taken them on the road so that we can go to their facilities, have them see some of these technologies without needing to make the travel and the trip to do so.
It was really cool to be able to participate with Oracle on that mobile innovation lab and to be able to see what you can bring out of the lab. And hopefully you do more of that and more people will want to make the trip to a lab because it is an experience I don't think anybody should miss it. Anybody in construction, I think, could go through that lab and just be amazed at what potential there is to bring back to their company, to bring back to their construction site.
Yeah, and we keep working on next generation capabilities there too. I'm very excited about, can't really share it now, but things that we are working on to continue to enhance that experience. So people that have been through it before, they're going to get a different experience and another experience, something that's unique and new when they go through it again. And we not only have it in Deerfield, we have one outside of London and we have one in Sydney, Australia as well.
It's super cool. One of the things I definitely want to talk to you about today is the smart construction platform that Oracle has and to dig into some of the details there. I know that when I discuss it with my clients, they are not really familiar with what that means. And I don't think that people have a good understanding of what is coming with that smart construction platform. So if you could provide some more details with that.
Yeah, I'll explain it a bit more. So the smart construction platform, it's many years in the making. So we have grown through acquisition. So everybody knows kind of that core technology Primavera. You mentioned P3 way back in the day. People now on more of the latest generation P6, and we have OPC. We have other technologies as well, like AConnex and Unifier. And those all kind of operated somewhat separately. And what we've done is we've built a platform using those technologies so that, one, they're integrated out of the box. Because what we want to be able to do is we want to connect teams. And on construction projects, there's many, many teams that come together, as well as connect processes. So when process finishes, it can start to build that next process with other team members and things like that, as opposed to, hey, somebody's got to look at it and say it's finished. Now let's create an email and let somebody know to continue forward. We can pass all that information through. And so we wanted to connect our applications. And as simple as that sounds, applications to some extent speak a little bit of a different language. So how it formulates to some label might be the same label in another application, but it formulates maybe a number slightly differently. So you really got to normalize that so that you can really leverage all of the data. That's in essence what we have built. We've connected these applications, and then we built the lobby, which really allows a user to go into the platform and work inside an application in a project and move into other capabilities in our other applications without logging out, logging back in, going and finding the project and getting to where you need to be. That project follows you through that platform, through the different applications. And as much as we would like to build like an all-encompassing super application that does everything, that is not realistic. But the ability now to make it a platform, allow those applications to communicate, to exchange data, and let somebody follow kind of that project through those different processes, that's really been key for our customers. We do have, and I always got to watch in public forums in terms of talking about futures, but there are a lot of great plans for the smart construction platform going forward that I think everybody will appreciate.
I can only imagine what AI is going to be able to do with the smart construction platform.
You think about all this data, and it's not just from our applications, and that's what's key too, is that we have the platforms. Think secure, scalable construction platform, and that should be the common data environment. That's where we want to make sure that we get this construction data, and think about all these applications that are out there and all this data is being created like we talked about before. You got to harness that data, and you just can't bring data into, like everybody talks about, just bring it into the data lake. You want some governance over the data, and that's what we can bring in is what a 0 or a 1 means on an IoT device. Let's get that translation before it gets into the common data environment. But you're spot on, Holly. It's now what can we do in terms of leveraging all of that data? That's job one. And I think a lot of people they're in that position right now where they know they want to get more out of AI, but they've got to get control around that digital strategy and that data. We just want to if we get that data into our platform, all this investment that Oracle is making in AI, we're going to be able to leverage that investment. I think that'll accelerate everybody's capabilities and adoption of AI.
For sure. For executives that are listening to our conversation who haven't made the leap forward to get out of Excel spreadsheets, emails, SharePoint, what would your pitch be to them? Why should they do it? Why should they do it now?
And I think they know that they don't want to be in those systems. That's not really where the system of record should be. You think about Excel, for instance, and Excel is so simple for somebody to spin up, build a spreadsheet. It's prevalent. It's everywhere. But you'll never get the value out of the data that's inside that spreadsheet. And it is something that somebody can just manually put numbers into. So we know it's got a lot of mistakes. It's just every spreadsheet, there's stats on it in terms of the number of mistakes that exist on it. But if you think about this technology ecosystem and leveraging all of this data, which is every executive that's on their mind, like how do we get our arms around this data and how do we leverage it? It's not going to be sitting in spreadsheets. You just can't leverage it that way. It's not going to be sitting in emails, or maybe it's sitting there, but you can't leverage it. SharePoint, to some extent, you can get your arms around that data. You just need to know what the context is and how it relates to all the other data that's inside the common data environment. You got to operationalize the data. And the other thing for an executive, and I think this is where it's a challenge, because it's big change for their organization. They get it. How do you get the rest of the organization just conforming to it? And it does take strong leadership to say, no data exists unless it exists in this platform, to really stop the usage of the spreadsheets and stop the usage of just sending emails. We have one very large EPC that says that no document exists unless it exists in AConnex. And that is absolutely pervasive throughout the organization. It's the only way they're going to get their arms around their documentation. So it takes strong leadership to set that tone with the organization that this is how we're going to operate and not let those other tools really be that standard. It's a lot on the executive to make sure that's the case, but I know it's a lot of hard change, but the sooner they make that change, the better.